The world tells us what to do, what to be, and if we listen, gladly become. Still, sweet fools upon the throne, too tall and spent near the greedy, slipping grip of infestation's carnival. Through a creature's conflict of emotion, the ever-resting test is tasting your controls. Mountain men, chrome-plated, nuclear investigations for modernity's modification. Legislative corporate takeovers shun the overload, then carries high the weight of greed. Cool, calm, and collected to wage war on this or that part of this diseased race of human beings. Our species, too. That seat of power, lord of the mean, or in the life zone, grows eternal. Few are fully inflexible to fight against the winds of change, but did we not throw the show away and out? Intolerance is deemed failure for this stranger's waste of space in total. Then this will be done. Hard is to be tough, good to be flexible and open-minded. Learn to leave when the shadows call, moaning and groaning. Alive, alive, on, everybody lives, liars' lies live on forever, where fortune's wise eyes are wide, wide open, full prophecies returned tell us one thing that's good for the soul. More easy listening. Clear, dear, inhumane hater, pleased to be a social activist, kill the white man, blame game, terrorizing institutions' intrusions. Actions just busted, done with invasion, alien opportunities, we throw worldwide wisdom out, shout, scream, and cry, a crime of emotionals. See passion play, pleasures bargained for your time's mighty confusion about reversals. Sacred, merciful troubadour, there's always so much more. Figures last, temptation forever feasts on our foundation. A nation's long, long, long lost escape across our glorious, fortuitous fate and its growing audience, just as before, a little bit of peace in our timelessness, mind and power's glory over animals craving experimental slavery. Just then got busted for lustful thoughts and karma again, always the name you can trust. Hatred on the hunter is our decay. Fist and furies come not over here. Don't overpower the master. I lie in wait. This then folded through and thrown over, these rigid battle-lost experiences can and will win the war against the fascists of change. Lost ark emotions, evolution contrived, survive the weaklings, dive deep into new depths and play at being human. Enjoy this educated guest, waiting for the chance to try at gifts God gave to us all. Born to be childlike, yet watch the wilted masses grow. Talented this artist's creation, vexation for all the universal orders, cosmic news, superlative, seer of all visions, demigods, complex tuition, his pure reflected complexion matters, grievous hope in an interpersonal environment, still the greatest friend is power. Of confidence, the enemy of change, license fundamentalities fixed into fatigue, mend or break sensitive sorceries, smooth slightly over the luscious, languid, eclectic scenery. Ancient herbalist fixed to a pole and unfortunately flogged it out of her. It's a metaphor for her generation's demise. So I count the days, fluctuating ladies in waiting, war horses, intestinal chance of a lifetime. This brings an estimated, long-awaited, and established joyful memory back into your life. counting throes, festivals of flowering clowns, free, free at last, to be martyred towards all the things that you have tethered in advance of royal arboreal loyalties, exercised the right to stay in at night times. Oh, on to the surmountable joy, holy of holies, we drearily are at an end. Wavering between worlds, wavering in limbo, waiting for the angels of Jacob ever patiently. To the crossroads, creature comforts, casual encounters, periods of cooling down, reactionaries, rancid reasons, thus for life's eternal escapades, inescapable, gratuitous fortunes, free-flowing and easy extensions. All asunder, they moan, I call to lie, pose the medieval mentality of blame and vilification. Joy of joys, for a head, to call it an axe of zest, absolutely meaningless people's obstruction of their own intellect and intelligence, or mispronunciation. How else would Satan, God bless him, destroy our joie de vivre? Our arbitrary obituaries calling for strength again, no more nonsense, filled me to the gills with awe-struck common sense. For awe-struck common people, sure to fill the animal void, milled through the times before their possessions claw back horizons for primordial needs. The door is blind behind us, living with bated breath, tongue in cheek, I see the jest, the joke, the insufferable torture of a nation possessed. Preoccupied by time's precious metal, precious diamonds and rubies have we lost. Emerald Isle emigration diamonds, large as life-sized jewel-encrusted home. Great golden red glowing chunks of jolted lightning steps. It all becomes clear now. So we are all heavenly, healthy, wise and wealthy are we. A never-ending supply, this cornucopia, and greater still, nature declares her domain produced monstrous wealth. Beyond a total knocked power is a plenty out, thriving and striking declaration's own. Thus the poor man lives unknown, whereas in a past life destroyed many the reputation, self-made many millions, while all around did starve for his true dominion. Where are all his little ones? All gone. Poor babies. Still, there stands a broken home, belong to whom so many ever will appear, or reappear like ghosts in the wind. Doubt sets in. Begin again. A presently unexpected tutorial in jest at best comes not so easily. Suspect division, superstition, and fearful device. Lives lives clearly done, advised her demise. Home's entrails, demonstration of atrocious, never-ending nationalism. Ignorance, tomfoolery types, and idiot sort. Guarantees of subjugation and constant physical ailment, insult and penitence. The poor, poor bleeding hearts. A solid window will support, then scrape the talismanic order delivered in spades in courts of moronic, amadonic, slow-brained yokels, on the rampage of a lifetime, sporting chaste and ravenous ravens, advise the wise in want of expressive strain, brain, trained substances, remains steady and will eventually break even. Eventually. God forgive me for venting and name-calling for everyone's human deliverance from deliverance. Ground-breaking history, survival's turnaround, over-sorted, still and burnt out, stakes a claim for us here and now. Today, here and now, the fear is clear, nearly enough down. Ancient reversal of melodious charm. All bets are off, saves energy all the way. Great Messiah of future charm, lighten our load, float, share, and true, stand upon reason. Far over mountains high, straight towards the eternal divine escape, that which nothing brings, escapes the lost women, the bitter man, the lonely child, the tired city oaf. Bring your charms this way, we all forgive you. Wonder not if our denial causes faith to be lost. You well-wishers' removal, heaven take away all of the blame. Leave your irreversible residual shame alone. Old monstrous evil institutions now reimbursed by their very own people's will to destroy, to ape and pillage, to spread sickness via the airwaves as they spread their effervescent stink, and they go, God bless them. Their offspring and our country's reputation worldwide destroyed. True blue, alive and well and living in a shoebox of dualistic delivery. Full circles round again, we're all pleased to say, we the world of fowls fodder, fools the doormats of the ignorant possessed by ignorance are at your doormat's substitution. Wicked will of Jezebel surmounted at all costs, that there is no need indeed to tell who cannot escape the spot and see the difference. A full-bodied sanctuary, where the sickly sweet invitations of the golden goat's ever-soiled reputation for public humiliation freely flowing inside out, shows well and truly their appetites for best face forwards. Served by the beast's speedy little helpers, the damned Jezebels and insufferable swine beings of forever flabulous ignorance, and soon to be eternal poltergeists of this world, above, below, or indifferent, GBT. Multiple complexities of failed slaughterous institutions bent towards the factories, celestials, celebrations, seasonal, scarified, scapegoats, soul, spirit, and humility, sacrificed sanity. God bless them. Reborn in the minds of idiots, we are idiots. In the mind of hypocrites, we're hypocrites. Fools, we're fools. Evil, we're evil. Damned, we're damned. Vain, we're vain. Slow, we're slow. Obese, we're crippled. Hobbled, as they say. In the mind of the imbecile, the imbecilic, we're imbecilic. In the mouth of all fools, idiots, jokers, and moronic swine lies the ever-increasing volume of insult, and slander projected outwards upon the pillars of society by the pillocks of society. This is Jacob's ladder. We're walking up. Beware the devils, they are blocking the way. Thus we need Christ above all others, if, being Christian, to forgive all ailments, all slander, all sin, all slight, all harm, invited and uninvited, both equal some in ugliness of experience worse than the assault by stranger, the hands of the unattractive stinking boar. Destiny used the same word twice, all in context, slowed down to a lobotomized, electrolyzed, and unimaginable end, to furrow frown, brings it to a closed jury of executioner, forever and a day on the downer, moaning infinite, reflex. You're impeccably dressed in your own mind, inextricably exercised. Melancholic tendencies directed at the seal of powerlessness, meticulously reformed, albeit unnecessarily resumed. A strangled victim of circumstance knocking on our door, availabilities defined, charging a subscription fee for more head-on collisions. Whoops. Online additions, conformities, careful efforts by the key. Exclusively denied, access all areas. Move staggeringly along, mortal coil enslaved. Enveloped and developmentally deranged. Salvation's well bursts forth yet again. Oh, the temporary memory of it all fails and cascades down around us, deeply repugnant. Forced to subscribe towards a heavy chain, to rely exclusively on this affair, in disrepair. A change is due. Monumental monstrosities dropping call, we falter and fall into the arms of youth. I hasten then to breathe with friends from far off, flailing carnivorous continents, heart and soul together, an objective obsession with our passions bound blind before their grievous goal. I expect regular behavior from their wholesomeness, mixed, bastardized exchange. Pardon mon French. Routine checks, eternal evocation rides forevermore. The longer we remain, we're infinitely bound. Immediately the silence is again broken, inevitably destroyed and in successive dismissal. Writing our changes in a somber mood, this vessel of change and pleasure is off, buried, withered episode, in features, painful memories, brilliant and tenaciously tender. Luckily, although the signs interpreter comes to speak of new combative languages, combinations of strategic appearance is fairer than this festival's appendage. Yours faithfully, the apprentice voyeur and savage. Limbo, being spoken of, is a voyage of return. Still, secret friendship greetings. Better watch out, for our nemesis is about as usual. In competition for surreal worlds clash and collide for an alternative interstellar intermission. Some sort of extraterrestrial community festivities, a chance of portal opportunities frozen eternally in the moment. Forced to flee incurable diseases, involuntary decisions are in order. Complete with insubordinate conclusions, this would be an appropriate time for investigation. Preferred Insight, a foreboding consecutive delusional migratory series, in effect, plagiarism. Some say, methodically absurd and divorced from reason, it's our complete recovery and we're disconnected from reality. Now, I find peace of mind in everything and in everyone all around me. Only if I'm in the mood, of course. Still treats it with his ease, if I don't say so myself. Whatever, the whole roof dissolves completely and collapses on ahead. Such as quarterly inclined directions are undertaken disastrously, being problematic from the start, with great results, is an impressive display. Success is a novelty source of the formula. It's virtually all rubbed in gently and disintegrated, then turned into a precious stone or metal. Share and share alike. 4th of July promises to be a great year for us again. Alchemically, it will likely be. You might say at 5. Honestly, where there's a will, there's a way. Obsessed yet unyielding dictators, mothers away, worry about their beloved children. All sociopathic borderline narcissists do. The prospects overwhelmingly wholeheartedly displayed, worthy and so unbelievably grim. The consecutive consequences reveal the idea. Inspiration comes naturally. Emergent dyslexia on occasion abuses anyone it can find. Abuse of apocalyptic proportions, the symphonic orchestra without consequence. Say the lucky ones do me a favor. Rid of bad experience, threatens to undermine it. Companions Impresario evidently exists as a book form. Under disruption. Dispute the fact, then thoughtlessness constitutes inferior and illiterate humdrums, magistrates beyond comprehension. Undeniably suppressed souls surpassed the driven snow, beyond the beatitudinal call of duty. Impressed, the highly anticipated shortcomings surmise, stand for the primitive advance surprise. Volcano has erupted, lively and impressive and not necessarily thieving. Forget them, as the man says. Distinct dismissal and gimmickly paradoxical. Almost certainly transplanted and spellbound by this industrial invention. Fascinating fascists, spectacle of intellectual rigor and social diversity, of popular rubbish indeed. Record sales fly off the wall. Some people say, let's make it up as we go along. The privileged and the merchandisers curiously creep about. Tall ship-sizing narcotic seizures, elephantine hullabaloo. Calculated, treacherous risk takes the torrid biscuit. Decadent yet staggering quantities envelop the network of this terrified, tumultuous order. Fallen short of the mark, bright sparks, dynamic opium of the masses, sedates the physical chemistry of us all. Full of goodness and inequality, disheveled, bedraggled bunches huddle together for a sequestered, quiet, incongruous moment alone. Fatigued and worn down with all the pressure of their political escapades, weighing heavily on their shoulders. The body is a willing vessel for their frivolous fate. Yet serve their country still they will. In times of peace, act immorally and repulsively spiritually criminal. In times of war, a weapon to be proud of, possibly in potential, more than reality. As cannon fodder, but maybe not without effect. in the negative state seeking reprieve. Even still, the simplistic nature of destruction carries on. Lessons learned 1,000 times. There's much room for more, just not in the mind of Lenin. Drug-fueled, hashish, piping peacemakers. Yeah. Old age awaits the manifested malevolent organ of choice. Liver, lungs, heart, etc. Compassion for all evolutionary humanity is in order for those of us that dare. To manifest the last word in reality or real-life physical primal evidence for the self-made therapist. Theory of relativity for the secretly intelligent layman, of course. In touch with your inner self-sedated, self-made easy. Dedicated in entrepreneur for the primordial meaning of life. Practice your futile, futuristic faith with bulbous populations of equal measure. Amongst the elevated legends for the festival, we have created much talent indeed. Cosmopolitanic theatrical illusion frustrates even the most ingenious of muses. Powerful display of strength, indigenous change for the better, an overpopulated globe. Posthumously in denial, the power of suggestion drives us wild. Dig deeper into the cesspit and soon you'll change your mind towards a more constructive goal. Compose a new song regularly when the need arises. Pieced together instrumentally significant and melodic. So it goes. Be prepared. Wonderful windmill progression after this session of ceaseless control. The beast has eaten all before him. Allow him another blindless bone. To the dog comes sepulchred space, always and forever eternal, eventually spent. Unfortunately fixated on the task at hand, couldn't be shaken off. Forever forwards, marching on. Tombs, transcendence personified. Incorruptibly, unashamedly, microscopically, incredibly graphic, and other internal, external, astral odors from outer space oddities. Some based life upon adventure to achieve a putrid, obnoxious imitation spell. Light-hearted variation, legions, standard viewpoint. Collared animals, about the pressure's estimation. I overwhelmingly deny any contribution whatsoever. Poisoner's guide drifts swiftly by, without premeditated hesitation. Unfortunately, undesirable developments have copiously warranted variations out towards a higher goal. Adventure on an even slope hides behind the bar. Take possession of your life. Annihilate the opposition. These negotiations drive the past high and dry, enveloped decisively together, primarily misguided. The chronicles are reserved for, you say, our eyes only, lush and pure, divided for all asunder. 21 inexperienced Puritans, territorial disputes relieve the passionate youth. Diminutive dream annihilation demands you dream again. A conversation coming calls for war amongst the ever-sleeping poppies. Dare I say it? Digested involuntarily into our supra-consciousness. Together we stand, just not in this country. Eternally grateful and scared to death, white as a ghost, relieved to temporarily end their heist. On the night your souls exposed to the elements of earth, air, fire, and water. Secretively launched, twisted and whirling merchants are privileged and hideously wealthy. futuristically fantastic discoveries. True blues of the preoccupied preacher's wife delights in fatal pragmatic fantasies. Experience, the bastard brother of wisdom, is for those of us on the edge of the wheel. We must find our way to the centre eventually, or to be lost infinitely, or for some time indeed be not afraid of failure. It's success that petrifies the mind. Foundation is true, all else will fall and fail. Without it, man in all his knowledge was not so wise. The information highway only serves as a catalyst for failure or success. There can be only one. Indeed, the wildly wonderful world agrees with sentences early release for incarcerated souls, share and binding out into the new mentality of apocalypse now. As always, it has been, the law of nature holds its claw above our heads, waiting for inevitable opportunities. It's a futuristic friend in its own way, reminding us of destiny or doom, protecting us with furiously fearful stabs. Remember then your past. Always remember your failures. Don't forget the last time you attempted to rise. Flee, flee from the fool, but try and try again to find the truly just soul that's wise. Eventually all shall be revealed once Percival returns. To the victor go the spoils, survive and be the last to stand. It's worth it all in the end, patience, a virtue always, struggle on. Valuable encounters create situations well worth delivering, saith this man. Association with politics developed a conglomerate of awareness, condoned by the history of our land. Fear makes clear paths grow pale. Exquisite 17th century clothing makes a great costume. Therapy for this man breaks the boundaries of our invasions. Mother Earth, sombre and sensitively in normal satirical state, as she moves along with all grievous grace and immersed in eternal majesty. Soulful and sensuous, my heart grows strong in her presence. With wonderful knees and long hair to please, I love her completely. On the road again, till the whirling world revolves, then falls fatally down, repeatedly looped in equal measure. Out with the old, in with the new, I say. 8,000 years in the making. Brave mayhems growing old. A child is born once in a lifetime for all. Believers or non-believers, Jezebel, oh Jezebel. Large, obsessive, compulsive beast of a monster, thick as thistle thorn, sat upon your stool of bone. Exorcise from us all your infamy and ignorance. Be not afraid of Pan's persistent, painful majesty. My son, my daughter, hold on to your innocence eternal, for life can strip it all away. You who cannot win by idiotic ignorance must defeat the mind of Nemesis, tactfully to find them friends in some sickly, sodden way. It's the most we can expect from lost soul insanity, weird in the heavenly hereafter, shrieking, freaking primal child, wild in the concrete wilderness, free from wistful dogmatic charms, escaping for all time the pain inside. broken and busted from lost love, torn down from limb to limb, yet to stick to the place, posted constant with pain, as if comforted be, appear vaguely sublime, subliminal, let it go, go, go. Twisted tempestuously inside shall we be, if into the pit we fall, in down deeper and deeper through mortal highways of unsophisticated barbarity. Pseudo-academias, dynamic prophecies, disinterested, infamous facade cases, plead for shallow and callous acts, seeking to blind the child damned to toil incessantly for the devil's festive foot soldiers. To succubus and concubine of this exorcist's favourite pastime, Jezebel the imp says, I who love inhumanely defeat, I digest love, lost love, and overtly overcome joy, detest all righteousness and forgiving natures. Demolish reconciliation and absorb all positive emotion, black hole, vampiric imbecile, that which will inevitably destroy all life for love. Yea, ye that are still not unloved, but see through curious eyes genius, see wrath. Here in lieu find inevitable loss. Find pretentious pain, and ape about with expensive Gucci in shallow kind and same old foolish mankind humanity. Forever unaccountable, illogical, and unreasonable. Tear-ripped fissures in adversity, commonplace, and without reason. Shadows of the distance, glamours glistening, still the windmill's final audacity finds reason and chemistry. I desire an execution of word on pages, a carnival of stage esoteric thrills, page after page where dreams become realities, infinite remedies, alternative and universal realities always reading aloud, virtuously patented, dreamt instead of prophesized, familiar flowing sounds, agreed, avoid the grey-clad middlemen, somewhere ahead lies definition. Street lights, evolution, concrete-covered cities, no solutions of alchemized, genetically modified spirits, eternal automatic takeover. Mind over matter, make or break for it. Blessed recreation. Clear and kind order from disorder seems forever immaculate. Defenseless and hard of hearing, cheered headlessness high above walled-in towers, as they say, fall inevitably into the oceans of dissolution, consecrated grounds, eternal resting places for horrific holographic infinities. Dance of death, reflected back to front, reversed, troubled terraces, learned nuances, confused responsibility. Roman soldiers, lost youths, dried up rivers, dried up wired eyes of troubled souls, lessen the load. Leave the cures far behind. Selfish selflessness, overcomplicated, lovelorn answers stated on the page. Same as the last liaison, leave it on the desk. Time tells on time, dissected in dissent, grabbing at straws, clutched then, wondering why we forever wonder. Insolvent solutions, splendid salutations of the everlasting vine, sublime, majestic, effervescent, alchemical solutions, diluted, evolving, deep in secretive ancestral juices, quashed and questioned in the molten, overcrowded heat. Divided above us, the immortal, enigmatic highways of mountainous clouds, eternal folding visualizations, soaring sights before the eyes of light, straight ahead of foolish, furtive foundations, frivolous intentions, repetitive, intuitive interventions. A highly expressive inner world of self-appreciation, wherever ye may be, burgeoned lightning, bolts of creativity, consciousness, in a senseless essence of experiences and experimentation, the eternal genius dumbfounded, becoming more experimentational, with initial theories clear and slowly, free and wild for all the newborns birthed, eventually now forever spaced between the divide. Inner hearts outside of circles, emotional spirits. The leaders will lead. Follow on freedom, fortunes forever, for an eternal ethereal creation. More than before, more and more, yes, yet no to yes. Wait, show them what you are and what we're capable of. Satellite star provides the power. Simple display of humor sprayed here on the thick and thin. Let us begin. I have reinvented my song of the tide. From great distance we collide. Failed to fail, success is granted by a life less gracefully thrived. Lust to lose this ill temperance, and will to strive on, to take a stand, then with the punches roll, break the mold, and stay the straight jacket. Least of all, never marry into the wrong wailing sea of faces ailment. Inner coma, not endured, then fall into despair. I will it, and if I will it, then it must be so. Get off my path, get out of my way, leave us well enough alone. I will and will alone navigate the entire earth if I need to by Christ. In the name of flesh and bone, leave well enough alone. This lyrical satirist says, simply stretch your dulcet imaginations, then will be real. Invent the contest to a will thrill, frolicking, tempestuous marriage of opposites. Keep it hetero. Beat depression to combustion, out compression, push and pull through overthrow out and dozed up on sky highs. Or thence thou will conform, shine majestic in the labyrinth of the vine essence's effervescence beyond the grave, a final release A truce is in formal and normal stone layers, stay clear and clean, then resurfacing in fresh elemental spirits of the air to overindulge the senses of tireless necessity. Bear all to the quintessential stone. Such is some. Grey still indeed does matter. Be polite. And easily raised the others from their vain-glorious slothful slumber. In fashion of conformity, lives comfortably, lost, then dearly titanical thunders roar approvals till the end of time. Sideways slip across the floor, we define the ties popular invasion. How to create greatness in this land can destroy the emissaries of opposition. Make nonsense present its own exquisite equations, not just here, where all who fly take their leave in a vampiric world that bleeds us dry. No escape. Somewhere to equal opportunities, grinding where we thrive to compete, released from our slumber. Thunder gods scream again, hardly grafted through tsunamic murderous waves of push and pull. We stand in our millennium for eternal solitary confinement, in tune with the sky. That magnificent, impossible, divine spirits celestials sing upon, making melodic, strange fantasies manifest via sound waves and chattering primordial communications. Is it all magic, or some kind of angelic sorcery? Come and see, for we achieve miracles where we are. Clouds' silver lining presents vain pleasures in a storm of golden-sided spiral vessels. In purgatory still I climb, step and stone, through walls of rain and ignorant characters, bitter faces turned towards the burning winds of change. Standing strong, I used to give way through the mind of darkness of ancient wood and trees twisted, wary of the skin deeps, gliding dreamlike over and under the step of fundamental inescapism. Through the silver lakes of shimmering elusive lands, awaiting astral leisures and mythological beasts aplenty. Each of us to share their teachings, mortified, mysterious drumbeats of equal opportunity, half sunk in the soil havens. To the victor go the spoils. Temples in the fox's forest features, dark sunlight shores, deflects outwards slightly towards the open window's reach. You hear us through attention to past experiences revealed. Relapse is overdone, overtly still remains. Return off and turn over, easily pleased, woven closures circled. Quick release again. Rejoice, for I have this patience for my virtue. Once and again was indeed well enough. When you're locked in from the out-shooting side slaves and servants, all there's a practice in skin-deep vanity, whose false vaulting mercenaries, joyful, feminine, beauteous, topple crowns, kings fall down. There never was none, wasn't doing nothing, mostly ain't any passion except for the first time, foul-grammared, ignorant, underdeveloped ids of the double negatives, inconclusive, empty vessels. Greatest achievement in life for many is the trolling of others. expecting handouts and charity from their victims. God bless their ever-depleting, decrepit, indecent souls indeed. Base pleasures, razed to the ground again, burning metaphors for extended loans, an introduction to the evolutionary cosmos. Thus, in extension, I examined the white candle from the flames of meditation's bliss. Its memories are lost, cast in a cauldron of explanation's value. Another spiraling spiritual conclusion. We'll have we lost you now forsaken, when mostly all around are losing theirs, I would keep mine mind. For soon and always the future beckons ever so easily. Afraid to fly? I am forever nervous of success, drained, contained, and the secret pains dismissed. A cry for freedom's pure indulgence. Fair is fair, majestic turnaround completed. Paltry, undiluted passions freely play, how promising and tempestuous. Bound strong the presence and procedure of towers falling, blackened, edges dusted. Against the highly paid and catalytic pleasures we repent open-woundedly, we are on display in the flesh forever and strenuously in denial. Say, was it worth it? Yea or nay? This neurotic protest is forsaken, also grave, the nearly gone, old and dreary. Our inner existence needs some form of medication. Torn more away from the norm, inexpensive, and furthermore against premeditative disaster. Our functions to perform, out-defeat the master, to flippantly overcome lost love, and march repentantly against the remedy of denial. Now, it's time to flee the job regrettably retired and thus regarded greatly from distances. Our arrival duties do mournfully pray. More of this comes round, mind, mouth, and eyes are mine, all in unison, though the watcher listens, heathens' heated fires burn. Around the golden tower, realized and rejected, special features, needs, discoveries, and indescribable passions revealed. Sometimes patience, virtue, and control leave our youthful roads asunder. Man and woman, folding, rolling, molten, bold, speech glides across insanity. Have found your finds for a Caribbean island, home's new oppressions satisfied. Beside you all, such of such is done, our intoxicated reformations, refined outer memories, come and get it by and by. Have been seen to be unseen, wait for it forever now, town crier, wrist in tow, a cab of gold is waiting. For our public execution is foretold, tenfold he awaits the same. Friend and foe, family are entertained, the end is never nigh, and all are seated satisfied. Pyre of pure which burning exists, exit stage right, left of judgment, a child born in sights out and livid with vivid expectations. Much more misunderstandings, left with bitterlessness, and blatant babbling banality entwined. Is learned bliss, entertained time and time again. You've heard it all before, thus I do adore and idolize you. Sizable fortunes, favourite futuristic fasts, free-liningly alongside Merlin the mighty Magi. War hero expose finds his feet again, hallucinating Spaniard in strenuous toe. Windmills calling into the ephemeris of his soul. ever ready to dive in against the grain, humane, mostly stupefied genre, typical reincarnate of the globe, sticks or table raised high, to fight with boundless flight, the power of passion and bloodied wretch are sharpened at your side. I'm able to swiftly leave where this pleasure is waiting, heavily fall so before the loom, hard and dark and right. Secretly hidden in a dance we safely shudder our strength and sleeve thoughts to dream of night. I release these things and realize they are bizarre and of the twilight limitless unsteady. Thus as magnificent bird of prey I climb high, ever scream high, and at the top of your true absolute being dive then fearlessly deep into the abyss. Reverence has taken forever and a day to recover, for rain and a sick stomach frills subversively for a seditious and sinful side. Seditious, reluctant, elapse, collapsed, incessant, worn out, tumbles, tried and tested, better get up, dried up, and ready for more. Jesus said, suffering is the solution. So Xanax cases the eternal pain of life's excessive, obsessive, yokels interference in our universally utopian lives. Friendless and vulnerable, they tear towards us, speaking shyly and involuntarily, exhausting life to its venomous, never-ending cycles. Over-minded, low-IQ'd mountain peak must have id to enter. Ready to read, to be believed, speaking freely, of course, not to be amused with the cost of living, as above our pay grade lie pea-brained dinosaurs, as below us they rule the streets, where our innocent lambs stand like sitting ducks. Recent memories include more misanthropic morphine emissions, calling the long, cool shot for weekenders, fraternizing with the deadheads, and their recreational synthetic drugs for a new race of synthetic yuppies. Exhumed the deadly royal fang from the jawbone of tiger snake and venomous priest's preamble, druidic angels stoned again, free triangle, vein and nerve endings now mortally wounded, all for nothing. I am totally boxed out in the sauce-free expedition. Communication creation, umpteen 53, dreadlocks for the white girls, tattooed, pierced, demonic-ridden castaways seeking equality to nothing. It's another moot point, grim disfiguration of the prime. Here we go again. Machine, portal, vacuum, betrayal or denial, high as a Superman's mortal spell. Too hot is the eternal damnation of Lucifer's recent revival. So far, the great Buddha has lifted the curse. Also, insufferable Rapunzel's army of bacteria, rolling and tumbling, they all fall down. Arise, fair throne-sitter, here comes another stinking backstreet rat, fixed on fun, their mental fundamental, squared by the great stake snake twister, tells a tale in all their doomed, drowned, downed ships crapped about, Dumboed to death. Dear Fred, infra-radiation, money mad, minimum rage, ready for the revolution again. Headless as a mouse-trapped cheese, turn it round, thanks illusions rule all shells. Then this makes no sense. I expose the aged and elderly folk to the warm and sunny winds of change. A great yet temporary cure for the bone squeaks, so I hear. Turn it around, survive or fall down. Freezing complex, perfect and perpendicular, ferocious wildcats creeping towards inevitable in-depth rebirth and sacrificial death. With her next breath she is free. Conscience clear collection comatose as always is rearranged in bunches. Easy living, overtime, joking, poking, winding, piping gestures. Have your wicked way. The over-battered reaper and his righteously rusted sickle have turned this bloated windbag's world around again. The letter of the law. Zeitgeist theory breaks the ice on spiritual issues. Blessings of division. A disconnected study from the mind of the wise. See this modern mess world as a sweatshop of choices. Informed, experienced decision calls for discipline. Subtly flexible, open-minded and expressive, an exhibitive display. The body says one thing, the soul is our very own. Humane literary geniuses, the greatest minds of our time, the only truly popular master of the whole, is disconnected apparently from the chemistry of this illusion. Philosophers, mature and gifted, see the world as if from a higher plane, initially. Above and beyond the pain of ignorance and arrogance, yet they lived and shared their lives surrounded by the ordinary populace. God bless them. The grotesque and the sublime, rubbing elbows and chanting equality. All animals are equal, just some are human. Human choirs for a word. Look around, see through their thoughts and endless wafflings, etc. See your images, imagination, projection of the subconscious, clairvoyant, psychic part of the brain's eye. Do not be embarrassed by the faithless fool whose hand is blessed by the new. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, and it harm none, make it so. Indeed, he does what he wills. Like attracts like, and it harms many, many lives. Until Rotas, turning eternally around, receives us again. Seek and you shall find destiny. When all around us are losing their heads, I will keep mine. Thus peace comes with realization. Where it's natural or metamorphic, collective thought makes a people whole. In Western Hemisphere, the old will grow old. Expressive religions are expelled, and hell has come with their adoration of the next. So to the new unquestionable 10th tenet. Is it only for the blind to seek? Nor modern man may see the intolerable solution. Ecstasies for the believer. May we never lose our minds. Communal festival makes the rest of us look good. Take a chance, word up, and take off again. Foreign burn, leading for collision course. Leave us to our own devices. Hip-hop for the cold-blooded killers. Hear us, faster than fashion, far into the future. Joy's been here before, boyo. Needs no protection from anyone. Moved on high to keep us warm inside. The dread of shadow thickens and falls upon the floor once more. Oppression. Lessons still races the faulty nerve endings, a calling towards distant lands, far off from us, the worlds of inhibition, where prejudice and scorn adorn the mindless mess. Upon the head of youthful lands, in the thoughtless blinking of an eye, two heads see and cry out, enough. I have no more to lose, confused, turn dime-like into fashion. There is always a remorse, forced in situ, combination of flattery. Afters and hors d'oeuvres observed, self-same, selfish, no more swells to tell. Some like it hot, how clear it has become, to tell your otherworldly version of events. It's time well spent, supposedly. Kind of, sort of, almost, nearly, apparently, omnibus. Magical being of universal order, there's more to it than we're letting on. Voices inside start telling us to carry on, continue, too little or too much, etc. As we speak, so painfully simple, like attracts life. Accompanied by booming heterosexual true believers in Christ, screech to a halt. Together again and virtually similar with decorations sleepless and majestic, you and me. There is hope. Someone screens the enterprise multiculturally. A fascism revival, a remarkable crescendo, a legend of ours in the waking. Crimson walls built knowledgeably to descend the inverted flow are invoked most incendiarily onto the preoccupied, albeit millionaire's mansion up on the hill. Forever a distant call, inner journeys chosen. Investors think we're constructively music of the soul, no concept of compliment. Artistic influences, analysis of rock and roll's message of suicidal messiahs. Disconcerted spinning the violent street life sobriety. Welcomes thousands more into the fray. The power of suggestion, in addition, stripped down, disinterested, and no contest. Pure grey has colours in clothes of soulless reflexes. A strength through libraries' hidden treasures, easy fix, or to lay low for something else than others next. Easy on and steady, mate, until the next one. Time passes on. Strange futures where rest is now diverted. Drenched to the bone, an eternal symbol of cycle's flight. The phoenix, cured from curses, bled her of some now reversed, cured mortal coils, non-event for purse strings of pulling. Drastically superfluous to all and sundry. Hugh man rules well along, then millions swiftly fall just as before. We fail to interrupt and interpret, then hold eternally, struggle on and over treetops tall conclusions. It's solved into place and terminally ill. The thrill of the hunt is momentarily forgotten. So scales the highest peak and heave a quick release, created, escaped, then trapped again. No, Yes, love, pleasure, leisure, spiritually kept her breath in depth, in death, new lives released and forever at your service. Then we fall again gently into our places, faceted. Placid, front and sky asides, wrenched from endless laughter. Disgrace befalls all asunder. Cotton briefs forgotten, dangerous dancer moves with grace. Intentions easy, keep it down, will you please, allegro, to fly to lows higher than flames can go. The frozen snowman piles a little more pain on. Pay as you go, play to what do we owe the pleasure treasure. Play, reject, then again presses the delay button. Measured for tango dance and fall in a dress, tranced to organized out, warm and dry, mile high eternally. Escapes never been more important, nor within reach. Blessed up on chemist's cure for the blues. Sacred infirmary hoard. Words, the mumbling monumental moments have arrived. Here we are. Arise and long for true love as you do that new earth religion. Who feels smoochy zooly love? Real longing for peace and joy idolatry. Out of space, done and dusted, full of muster toned. Get up off your backside, hell's frozen over, and again, yet there's more to come. Well and truly done over, rover, desperados off the fence, henceforth feel free to experiment safely and in large quantities forever infinitive and superiorly illuminated in bright light.